In the next stage, you come and say, okay, so actually I have very, very little needs, and they are probably, most of them, quite satisfied because I'm not in any real severe lack in my life. Severe, I'm talking about severe. Not having enough money is not severe, okay? Not having money is severe, but not having enough money is not severe. It's something that we want, okay? I want to get better clothes, I want to go on vacation. It's not a need. I want it. I want to expand more, and it's great. It's just not a need. And then I have no real feelings to share with the world. I'm talking about, of course, negative, not if you want to share your beauty, your tremendous self. That is why we're making this school. Do you understand? It's like we're having this school for you to be able to let this diamond shine forth and become visible. That's our intention, declared. But negative emotions are also really just concealments. They hide away wills. So needs hide wills, feelings hide wills. And therefore, the only question that we really have is, how do I dare to want? And how do I dare to express what I want? Do you see? That's the process. And it's actually such a liberation, first of all, to admit that. It's like, yeah, okay, I want. At the beginning, it may feel clumsy and strange, but slowly it feels like a relief because it's actually very healthy to want and to stop pretending. Second, it's liberation because you're beginning to actually master your negative emotions. You have the key, and it's not praying to God or going through 10 years of therapy. Did we have traumas? Perhaps. Very few of us have had real severe traumas, by the way. Traumas that can really impair your psyche to such a degree that you cannot function and so on. There are people with severe traumas, and but most people, their traumas are not so traumatic. They're okay. If you are honest, then you could rate them even between 0 to 10. While 10 is, I don't know, being in Syria in the last few years in the war zone. That's a 10. You see, that's a trauma. That's a horrible situation. Unbelievable. It's not human. It takes away everything you have, and that's horrible. So I'm saying, for most of us, we can control completely our process of negative emotions. We don't have to have any more pain, disappointment, sadness, anger, grudge. We don't have to have all that. Depression. Because we just need to translate it and to take responsibility for what was before it. And then to ask myself, okay, am I going now to be a little child about it? Is it really a justified expectation? Because you see, we don't, and we'll speak about it also in the afternoon, we don't just want to be recognized emotionally or something like that once. We want to be all the time emotionally recognized and accepted, and so on and so on. And therefore, even the first incident, the only one incident that hurts us, we are hurt. Do you understand? We can be emotionally recognized and accepted, but then there is one instance, and then we're wounded, and we are hurt, and we are frustrated, and we're disappointed, and so on. Why? It means that we don't only want to sometimes be accepted, we want all the time to be accepted. And then if you begin to reverse that and say, not only I wanted to be accepted, but honestly, actually, I just don't want all the time to be accepted and never to be rejected. And then you can laugh at yourself, you see? And this weekend is a lot about laughing, self-irony. Self-irony is very healthy. It's like, first of all, you cry and cry, and you say, okay, wait. Why am I crying? Oh, yes, I wanted to be recognized. Oh, I wanted to be recognized all the time by everyone, in all circumstances for the rest of my life. Okay, why? That's cute. Then when you begin to speak to yourself in this way, you keep waking up yourself from a dream. And move on to what? To a healthy self-expression. But to a healthy self-expression, we first need to have our foundation healthy. And to build on that. So actually your eyes tell me that you recognize it. It's and that's a good thing because it's actually not very difficult to see it. It's just difficult sometimes to admit it in real time. But when you understand that this can be the end of your suffering, then perhaps there is a greater temptation, a greater will, you see? A will that is bigger than the will to feel irresponsible for my wills and for my actions. So, let's see what questions you want to ask. I'm afraid of your questions, so I will first run away. I will come in less than a minute. Yes. So I'm ready to hear some questions, please. Mix. Let's start with Heike. Yes, please. Now, what do you think with all your honesty? Yes. Perhaps you think exactly that, but before I'm answering, what do you feel about it with all your honesty if you look at it? Why are we sad when somebody dies? You want something to stay, yes. Yes, you know all your life from the moment you are born that things are not going to stay. We all know that, right? We know that. We see it everywhere. We watch movies and we see people die. We watch the news and we see people die. But somehow we really hope that in our case it's not going to be the same. That our loved ones will live forever, and hopefully, at least when we are psychologically healthy, that we will live forever. I mean, otherwise, you know, some people want to die, and that's obviously a decay, a degeneration of their life force. It's different to want to die and to be ready or willing to die. That's two different things. So, of course, we don't need to be that extreme and fanatic. We need to accept the fact that we sometimes want somebody to live forever, and that we give ourselves therefore also the sadness that follows from not having this expectation fulfilled. But at least we should know. It's different, you see? It's like a maturity, a mature grief is knowing and taking responsibility that for your sadness and why you are sad. You know why you're going to cry. And still you say, I'm allowing this. But if it happens in this way, it's going to be much shorter, you see? Because at a certain point you realize that your grief is not just about expressing your sadness despite reality, but it's a quarrel with reality that continues, and it's just not accepting that things die. Exactly, accept the reality as a part of sometimes, yes, sometimes we will have a practice soon, but sometimes you can say, okay, I know that this will is going to cause me a lot of pain, frustration, and disappointment, and still I'm going to stick to it. You see? I'm still going to change reality, even if I'm going to have this, but I'm taking responsibility. Do you understand? Of course, when you see, I don't know, if you want to be emotionally accepted all the time under all circumstances by all people for the rest of your life, and you're going to stick to it, you're going to be quite miserable, you see? But at least you say, yeah, I know, I'm going to be miserable, I don't care. I'm going to take responsibility and I'm going to try to achieve it. So at least you take responsibility. So we have different options as soon as we recognize the will before our suffering. Sometimes we can accept reality. You see? We say oh, it's just, my feeling is just a clash between my will and reality. So who wins? Most of the time, reality. It's a bit stronger. Why? Why is it stronger?
It's the truth.
What?
Because it's the truth.
No, not because it's true. Because reality contains, at least in human terms, 8 billion other wills. Okay? Then there are wills of animals and plants, the wills of I don't know, the cosmos, and then so on. Everyone wants. Then my will against everyone, we are lucky that sometimes we get to fulfill something. It's amazing. It's like sometimes when something happens exactly as I'm planning, I'm thinking, oh my God, what is wrong? What is wrong? Is life asleep? What happens? It's like an error in the matrix, you see? something got wrong because most of the time life is awake and makes sure to train us in a different way than we were planning. Yes, so now I want from the online. Okay, so again I will repeat it. Tell me if I'm repeating it well. About addictions, this is from Florian, and the question is if I want to smoke, right? And then what? Yes. That's that. Yes, we want to smoke, but we don't want to smoke. We want to go to pornography, to eat a lot of sugar, to I don't know, to use drugs, to do whatever. And but we also don't want, because our mind tells us, "Come on, what are you doing? You are damaging yourself. You're doing something that doesn't become you," and so on. This we will deal a lot next weekend, but about the third chakra for real. But what we need to understand is that when we want to smoke and we also don't want to smoke, but we smoke, it means that we want to smoke more than we want not to smoke. That's very simple. And we will stop smoking when we will want not to smoke more than you got it. It's just a matter of what is stronger, and truly we cannot defeat addiction unless we have a stronger will. And that's when, and then when we say, I really want to stop smoking. The answer is no, you don't really want to stop smoking. Do you understand? It's like, no, you actually want to smoke. And then you need to face it, because if you are, if you have the other voice saying that, it perhaps sounds like your moral part, like the devil and the angel, like do it, and what are you doing? And then our brain compensates for the addiction by having this other voice, the good voice, because then we feel that at least we're trying to fight it. As soon as we begin to be honest and we say, obviously if I do it, this is what I want. What I do is what I want. This is an extremely important self-confession. Then we can start asking ourselves, okay, but why do I want it, and why do I want this habit to be? But before we're admitting that, and we're admitting that we don't have a stronger will inside us, we're just it's a sort of a self-deception. It's nice to say all for 20 years, on Monday I will start a diet. It's while always postponing it. It probably means that you don't want to go on a diet, you see? At a certain point, a stronger will rises. And the thing is, by the way, that addictions are very often the fact that we are trying to turn off certain wills and certain energies. We are suppressing them, and then they take the form of addictions. Because addictions, they conceal a tremendous energy inside them. They have So just think of the compulsion, the will that is behind that. So it's better to admit it and then to start asking myself, okay, but so what am I? What wills am I suppressing? What energies am I channeling instead into that? Start with admitting that and see what's the next step. Yes, 1, 2, 3, okay, yes. So what are we doing with fear? And you are, Tobias has decided to take the most extreme situation because this is usually what our fears are all about, right? It's because guns are constantly pulled against our head. Let's be honest, most of our fears and anxieties are tremendously unfounded. But, yes, obviously I have a basic will for life, you see? I have a will for continuation. I have a will to experience. I want to have a tomorrow. When my life is threatened, then my will is endangered, okay? When it is so extreme, yes, it can reach the very basic survival, and that is need, okay? But most of the time with fears, what we have, and by the way, it's okay to say yes. Actually, I want to be alive, and but life is anyway not going to fulfill it. You see, at a certain point, life says, "I don't care if you want to be alive. I'm going to shut this system down. Enough with this life form." And then we need to also accept that our struggle with the possibility of death is our will for life. You understand? That may not happen at a very basic instinctual state when you have a gun pointed at your head. Then you have a heartbeat and so on and so on. But at least you're conscious. You know that it's your will against the other's will. Maybe, I don't know, somebody has a violent will, an aggressive will. And that's a part of life. But again, our problem is not these type of fears. These are immediate and short-lived fears. They concern a certain very rare situation. Our problem is our fears and anxieties, and fears and anxieties are when we are afraid not to get something that we want, or afraid that we might lose something that we believe we have. That's clear, right? So that's, again, wills. And when you say, yes, I want it so much, I cling to my will so much, that fear begins on the other side, that I might lose it or I might not get it. Do you understand? Like if I have a test anxiety, it's because I want so much to succeed and to validate my sense of worth and so on, that of course I'm getting a lot of anxiety because I might not have it. So when you begin to translate it, And we'll do it throughout the weekend. Slowly you are unifying yourself. You begin to realize that you're actually a willful being. And that's life. The life in you, basically. Then self-expression is a natural next step. It's not something like expression. Because we also need to ask ourselves, what exactly do we want to express? That's yes. 2 last questions, I think. Yes, I hope you obviously don't think that what I'm teaching here is to go and run after new dresses, chocolate, and fame, because that's obviously not what we're talking about. I'm saying to start. I'm saying to start freeing this element of will, and then we'll take care of that. It's not like it's a conscious process. The first act is to unsuppress. To unsuppress, to release, to recognize, to admit, to develop psychological honesty. Then, and to be able to free ourselves from suffering, from feelings that are the cause of suffering. So that's the first stage. It's not the whole philosophy. It's just the beginning. So don't be afraid. And to think, I will go crazy if I recognize all these wills. This is not so true. At the beginning we think like that because this is what our mind tells us. You're going to go to that's insanity. But when you do that, you actually realize that it's not insanity, but actually the beginning of maturation. It's different. Okay? And as for feeling powerless when we have something in us, it's not so accurate to say that we are powerless, you see? Because then it's like it's not honest. It means that we're dividing ourselves and saying, oh, I am now a victim of my wish for chocolate. What does it mean, you see? But it is my wish for chocolate and I are actually one and the same. You see? What I am and what I become is what I eventually do. Not my feeling about it. Do you understand? It's like saying, I don't know, I so much want to meditate, but I feel so powerless because life takes away all my time. It's not true. The reality is that you actually want many other things at the same time. You actually want so many things and you want all of them to be fulfilled, but in life you need to choose. So then if you eventually never find time for meditation, it means that you don't really want to meditate so much. You want many other things. That's honesty, you see? Then you say, okay, I actually don't want to. It's like I stop playing around. I don't want to meditate. It sounds very noble, you see? I want to meditate and to dedicate myself to God. So, okay, so do it. No, I can't, because I also have this and that, and I have the relationship, and I have my friends, and I have my work, and I want to sit in social media, and of course, yes. So you want all that, and then people also complain that they don't have time. But it's when you, or that they're burned out, you see. It's when you want to do so many things at the same time, of course you will need to pay, you see, with exhaustion, with tension, with stress. So at least take responsibility, say, yes, this is what I am. That's the beginning where from which you can also decide to change that. But it's not through like fantasy of how wonderful it could be, I don't know, to meditate or to stop smoking. I promise this last one, sorry. Keep it for the afternoon, okay? I will remember.
No, it's also.
Yes, first of all, I wouldn't compare ourselves to 3-month-old babies. You see, because when I say I still have the same need that I had as a 3-month-old baby, that's a very problematic claim. I think we have pretty much outgrown those needs. We also don't need to have milk from our mothers, and then in the same way, our acute needs during that time, because we were completely vulnerable, we're struggling for our life, and that was acute, and therefore that can count as a need. But the question is if you could now have a different perspective and a different life experience, and then you realize that the more we mature, the less and less our needs become. That's a process, basically. That's maturation. Until our needs become so minimal and so simple that that's real maturation. You see? And then that's also the point in which we're starting to say, yes, this is not a need, this is a will. So yes, babies need that. You don't need that. Yes. Okay. Very good. So we have the first key. Now we will take 20 minutes break, and then we will start using the key. Thank you. Good day.